Okay, yep, it's going. Hey guys, what's up? Evilzombie here. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about retro handhelds. And there's a lot of different kinds out there. It's a pretty big world of different kinds of retro handhelds, and I just kind of want to share my thoughts and what I'm doing because what I want to do is order one soon. I have one. I have the Pocket V90, which is the powkiddy V90, which is this one. There it is. Got one of those, and it's okay. It does play all the old games, anything below PS1, and it plays them pretty well. It's a good little handheld, but there are some build quality issues. Like, listen to this. You can hear the insides. You can hear the buttons jangle, and the screen is 3 inches on the dot. It's like 2.8 inches almost. It's a little less than 3 inches in size. The screen. So for someone that normally needs glasses when they're trying to see up close, this is almost impossible to read text on for me because it's such a small screen. So what I want to do is upgrade and get something, well, better, bigger, faster, that can play up to Dreamcast, newer, I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts with you guys and just kind of go over what is in the retro pocket, or like the retro gaming handheld world. Now, we already know about stuff like the Pi Girl, or if you have like a Raspberry Pi computer, you can 3D print a case, you can put in a breadboard and different boards, like a controller board, in order to, make a whole system. Speakers, all that stuff. Then you can make your own retro handheld. Now that was the way we had to do it for a good while, but now things have updated a lot where we have just various systems. This one I got because it's very portable. I like the portability of it, For games that don't have reading, it's fantastic. I do like that, and it's good on the go. I can just toss it in my bag and I can travel around. That's great, but I want something bigger that I don't need my glasses with, that I can lay on the couch and play a classic game with without needing to go sit at a TV, I want to lay in bed and I want to play a game. Or I want to lay on the couch and play a game. I don't want to have to stare and be at the TV or get it all turned on. What if someone else is watching? I want to just be able to go play my handheld with something about the size of the Switch. Now, there are several options, and I have a few choices coming up soon. I want to try and keep a budget like $200 or lower, and I could very well wait for the Retroid Pocket 3 to come out. So Retroid, they're good at making stuff that is very high quality, not like Amberneck quality. Amberneck is like the Nintendo of the retro handheld world. Like, they make amazing quality stuff, but they're all expensive. But Retroid, they make comparable hardware where everything works fast as or faster than anything else in the market for a very comparable price with just cheaper materials. Like, they use plastic for everything, So the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus just came out. We all thought it was going to be the 3 coming out this year. It's basically the same as the Retroid Pocket 2 with the 3.5-inch screen. Look at that. That's a beautiful design, though. But it's a 3.5-inch screen, but they did have a leak of information for the Retroid Pocket 3 instead of the 2 Plus. So the 3 has, I think it's like a 5-inch screen or a 5.5-inch screen, stacked shoulder buttons, and that's going to be a nice handheld when it eventually comes out. The only downside is we don't know when it will come out. We think sometime early this year, and it should dominate the competition based on just their normal pricing model, the fact that they're using a different chipset than every other model in the industry right now, because that's how they're going to undercut everybody else. They're using a new chip, and then they lower the price. Maybe they have a backer. I don't know how they do it, because the Retroid Pocket 2 is $100, and it can play Dreamcast. It can play a little bit of GameCube if you, with some games. It can play a couple of PS2 games, like Crash Bandicoot maybe. Not very many, because that's still kind of out of the reach of that price range. But it can handle up to at least a couple PS2 games. And it can handle the entire variety of retro gaming before that, like perfectly, flawlessly, no issues at all, So that is a big possibility of when I might get. It has a slightly bigger screen than this, because this is a 2.8, I think, 2.9, and that's a 3.5-inch screen. So that will give me an extra half-inch screen of viewing space, which is not too bad. Then something out of my price range would probably be the Odin. I'll get to that in a minute. This is what I'm using. I was looking a lot at this one, which has like a 7-inch screen. Oh, no, sorry, it's 5.5-inch screen. It's a nice dedicated device, another clamshell option, which is the clamshell style is where it opens and closes. And that's cool. It's about $180, $173. But, ow. And this is definitely the most powerful device on the list. It can handle GameCube games, it can handle PS2 games, and it can handle Dreamcast. All no problem. It is a very powerful device, but everyone complains about the build quality because powkiddy. See, powkiddy is known for rushing things out of the market. And they'll have a powerful product that just has crappy build quality. Like the buttons will jangle or they'll get stuck inside it a little bit, or the joystick will stick and things like that. It's just all these minor annoyances that stack up. And it's because they rush their products out the door before they have a chance to really test it. But it has 4 gigs of RAM, and it's easily the most powerful device on this list other than the Odin. Or, well, as far as the under $200 items, it is the most powerful, hands down. The only downside is build quality issues and a possibility of things not always working because the software is not the best either. The same company, powkiddy, they decided to not rush something and take their time on it and perfect it, and they came out with this. The RGB Max was a great handheld, and the only complaints were like the brightness of the screen, the layout of the shoulder buttons, which they fixed in this design. The screen is much brighter, the shoulder buttons are stacked, and it's just a much better overall design in every single way. They fixed their old design. Can I see? Oh, where is it? They don't have a picture of it here. Okay. But still, they fixed it, and it's a very nice setup. The only downside I've heard is that it does get warm, like really warm, where people will be a little concerned, and then they'll turn it off. So would I want to save the money, have $130, a very nice big screen where I wouldn't need glasses, but risk hardware failure because of overheating? Because this device, they didn't put any ventilation on the back, which normally you would expect they would need to do for something that plays games and heats up. No ventilation on the back, so that's the main issue with that, because it's powerful. It can handle PS1 and below perfectly. It cannot handle Dreamcast, but it can handle PlayStation 1 very nicely. And it's a bigger screen, which was what I was looking for, but at the same time, this was more powerful. Both of them have their own issues, kind of. We're moving on to Amberneck, they're basically the masters of the retro handheld world right now. This is a metal aluminum body for their designs. Everything feels like the buttons feel like legitimate Nintendo buttons, and their actual pressing, their feel, everything. It feels very high quality. Everything is perfect on their handhelds. Other than these shoulder buttons, which are a little annoying, I think. But everything is very nice in their handhelds, and that's a 3.5-inch screen, I think it is. I'm pretty sure I can look that up. Oh yeah, 3.5-inch, yeah. It's an IPS screen, but everything is very nice quality. The only downside is this also uses the same chip as this one. So this does have better build quality. It's aluminum, so that won't overheat. It helps dissipate the heat a little bit. And I've never heard of one of these failing. It has good sound system because of the speakers, and I've only heard good things about these. Again, it's only 3.5 inches in size, so it's not that much bigger than my powkiddy V90. But the build quality itself would ensure it would last, because they use high quality parts, and I haven't heard of a single one of their units actually failing where they didn't fix it. And this is like their finalized version of that chipset, so that's probably the last thing we'll see come out of that company of that chip. And they did make a new one that's bigger. Where is it? The 552, the RG552 has come out officially. It is a bigger one. It's over $200 though. It's like $227. The only downside to this is that the software sucks. Like, they rushed out the software. They did not finalize it as well as they could. They didn't polish it off. We're going to have to wait for the community to do that, I think. Or them to update it several times, because a lot of people have complained basically about the software experience. Like, the build quality is all there, and it's a very nice handheld. Everyone says it feels good, but the build quality itself is flawless, and it's a great screen, great speakers, everything. That's all perfect. And it's more powerful. It's a new chipset, so it can play all the way through Dreamcast flawlessly. This one cannot do GameCube. I don't know. Can it? No, it's Android, so it can do GameCube if you tweak your settings right. But the software is just not there. It's just like they have software for it, of course. But it's just not as optimized as everyone would hope it would be. So it can't run everything right out of the bat yet, because they're still fixing it. It's like they released it a little bit earlier than they should have, because they probably freaked out from the Retroid Pocket 2 coming out, or 2 Plus. Okay, so I showed you the Retroid Pocket 2. So there's a couple other ones. So this is the Odin. This is the direct competition for the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck, if you don't know what that is, that's this one. Yeah, the Steam Deck is Valve's answer to retro gaming and being able to play your whole PC library on the go, because it's an open source Linux operating system. You can play anything on this. It will handle Doom Eternal. I've seen it. It'll handle Doom Eternal on Medium just fine. Linus Tech Tips, they got their hands on it, and they got to play with it for like an hour and a half or something. So it's a great system, ventilation and all that, but these are expensive. The base model, the very base model, is $400. The one that you really want, which is just better in every way and is the one you basically want if you're going to run PC gaming, is $650. So clear out of my price range. Can't even look at it. But the Odin, it's tinkering into that price range. It is a little above what I'd want to spend. But my goodness, this is a beautiful set. Basically, this is about as powerful as the Steam Deck. People have played their Steam library on it, and it plays everything they've thrown at it beautifully. Like, it plays PS2 games pretty much flawlessly. It plays GameCube games great. It's a very powerful device. Sorry, I'm stuffy today. I'm healthy, fine. I'm just stuffy. It's got active cooling. It keeps the unit cool because it does have a more powerful processor. It's got a dock support, so I can record things from it. If I'm playing on it, I can record from it. Because I have an HDMI capture card here, so I can record directly to my computer, which is incredibly appealing to me. Because I can play devices on my screen, record it for you guys, and that's incredibly appealing to me. Because I can record right from the device, and I can just have my handheld, and then I can be like, okay, see you guys later, and I can go play it. But this is, you can install Windows, and it comes with Android. It supports both. It's a computer. It's a full computer. I think it's an ARM device. It can dock. It has a Type-C USB. I think it's Thunderbolt. That's why you can dock and stuff, you know? Oh, yeah, there you go. That's the Type-C for the Odin. You can install different kinds of controllers for it, and several different USB interfaces. This is great. You can plug multiplayer in, just plug it into the TV, and it's a game console. It's basically like the Switch, but for PC gaming. The pricing on this bad boy, oh my goodness, the base model is $200. So right at the top of what I wanted to be my budget, but if I really want to push it, wait a little bit, save up a little bit, I could probably, because I don't want to do the light if I did it at all, you know? I'd want to get something completely ready for it. What I want to know is, how do you get the base model, the Pro, as well as all the other junk that comes with it? Super pack. Oh, I see. That comes with that. Oh, that comes with the dock. Oh, that comes with the dock. So I'd have to do $360 to get the dock with it. But this comes with the dock too, so I could get the base. The base should be able to handle pretty much anything too, because I would be using it for retro gaming. If I on the side, as well as my Steam library. But my main concern is mostly just retro gaming, because I like to play on my big screen for most Steam games. So that's also a thing where it would be kind of wasted potential on me, because I don't want to play Doom Eternal on a little handheld. I want to play Doom Eternal on a big sound system and a big screen. So that's also something that's kind of wasted on me. So I'd probably steer clear of it just for that, you know? Which brings us back to, I'm between a couple things. Like, should I just get this? Because this can handle everything I would want to throw at it. All the retro games from PS2 and lower pretty well. And basically a little bit bigger on screen size than what I have right now. It's not the best. or wait for them to eventually release this, which we only have these pictures of. There's nothing else existing on this. Nobody else knows anything. We're guessing around when what the price range might be. Maybe it's going to be around what this one is. It's probably going to be around this range. That's what everyone's thinking because it has a new chipset. It's a bigger screen. We think it's still going to undercut entirely where's it? This one. We all think it's going to undercut this device on price entirely because they're using plastic most likely, and this new chipset, which they were able to release a device comparable to, okay, there it is, the P. Boom. So this is the comparable item that Amberneck has of the old chipset. The RK3326, that's the one that's been out for like 5 years. The MP is their newest version of this. That's the one that's like 160 or something. Like I said, they perfected everything. This is a couple models below that. It can only play PlayStation 1 and lower. And it's the same exact price, and it's also made of plastic, the P. This one is the Retro Pocket 2 Plus. Not the 2, just the 2 Plus. And this one has a much better, it's a quad-core, it's a Tiger T310. And it's just vastly superior, vastly more powerful of a device. It can handle everything from some PS2 and below. So, same size screen, same button layout pretty much, except for this has those stacked shoulder buttons, which I actually kind of prefer. I might go for this. But at the same time, like, we know that they've met the low tier price range of Amberneck for a much superior item. So it's going to be plastic, there's no metal. So would that be temptation enough just to wait and see what happens with this one that should compare directly to this one, the 552? Because this is using the new chip. I wonder if they would use the T310 for the Retroid Pocket 3. So I'm just going to leave this in everyone's hands. I want to hear from the community. I want to hear from you guys. Talk to me in the comments below, please. Talk to me on the Discord. Jump on there and tell me your thoughts on this, because I am honestly curious. I'm not buying it right away, of course. I'm going to think for, well, as long as it takes for tax money to get here. I'm going to spend a little bit from the refund on this, and I'm going to try and keep it within a certain budget range. But I don't know when they're going to release it, honestly. I mean, we're already in February, and they promised first part of 2022. That's when everyone thought it was going to come out. And nothing yet. We haven't heard a single announcement, haven't heard any teasers, nothing official. All we have is this information leak. And, oh, yeah, this one also has ventilation, which is a big thing. It's a big thing. Because that means it will be able to stay cooler, unlike this one, which has a very similar design. The powkiddy Max 2, the RGB Max 2. So it's going to be like that, but what if it has ventilation and more power? So just food for thought, guys. This is a really tempting price, because if it comes in around the same price even, then of course this is just, it's a gimme, you know? There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. And I'm just kind of reading through this a little bit, but I'm really hoping big things for Retroid Pocket on this, because everyone's really looking up to it. Everyone's excited about it. Here you go. So all they have available, they even took out the old model. They have it all set up where you can update your old Retroid Pocket 2 for $65, or just buy the whole new one for $100. That's pretty tempting, because that's a pretty immediate price for a device that can do all that, you know? I don't actually know if you can dock it, or if you can do HDMI out. If I can, then I could also record from it. Can I? I don't know. That's why I'm looking on here real quick with you guys. This is kind of my little journey of discovery. I would definitely go for this one, though. The retro design. It looks good. It looks so cool. I'm kind of leaning towards this because of those shoulder buttons. I'm a little disappointed in the small screen size, but at the same time, it's not too bad. It's tempered glass and everything. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards waiting for the 3 or getting the 2 Plus. Tell me what you guys think. I mean, if this was more polished and they had the software up to snuff and every reviewer didn't say this is a missed opportunity, then I would have been like, oh, I want to save up a little bit and get this one because Ambernick makes good crap. This time they just got lazy. And this is one of their best things they have right now, I guess. But it's also a much higher price point for less performance than this. Because this is the old chipset still. The RK3326. Same chip we've seen for a long time. So that basically rules that out just for sheer price, because that's $50 more for less performance, basically just for the build quality. It's a good build quality, but if it can't run Dreamcast, not really worth it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to close that one out, because that's what I got. I just wanted to show you guys that. This is good for kids and all that. Like, if you have some kids, it's pretty indestructible, because it has the closing thing. Your screen won't get cracked if it's in a bag. And it's fantastic. If you guys ever get this one, I'll give you a link to Retro Game Corp. They did a site on how to modify it or set up the custom firmware just so it works better overall. So talk to me about that if you do get that. This was one I was interested in for a long time. But since things are now more pre-made, I want to go back and do that someday. I just haven't done it yet. I wonder what else Adafruit has on here, because they're wonderful. Adafruit's amazing. They have a whole section on Thingiverse. Oh, so cool. Oh, so cool. Okay, I'm gonna dig into that later. But still. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. Wait, why does it say Indigo? Retro is the way to go. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Keep being amazing. Keep being awesome. Have a good one. Bye.